Hey friends, we are here in Mr. Levy's photography studio with Jack and Iggy, who's down there on her doggy bed. And as I said in our last video, Mr. Levy is a professional photographer whose specialty is photographing pets. So I thought it would be great to have him just do a kind of a short little video on some tips on photographing your own pets at home. So if you have a dog or cat at home or whatever pets you have, it doesn't have to be a dog or cat. Mr. Levy's, what else have you photographed besides dog or cats?
I've photographed a chicken. I have photographed an iguana.
Goats?
Goats.
Horses.
Yeah. Guinea pig.
Yeah, some students might have a guinea pig at home.
Quite a few different animals.
Yeah.
So whatever you have.
Yeah, so I thought, we'd have Mr. Levy tell you, talk us some tips on photographing your pets, some pointers to have you create a great photograph of your dog or cat or any pet you have. All right.
Well, the most important thing is to do it because you want to have some fun and you want something to do with your pets. So one thing that you could use is, let me borrow this. If you had a big fancy SLR camera with all kinds of bells and whistles and like the extra motor drive and the big fancy lenses, you could totally do that. But of course, you probably don't have one of these things sitting around. No? No. Okay, so maybe, I'm gonna hand that back over off camera.
We can cut some
On camera. If you, Anyway, there's always a point and shoot camera, right? Something like that. You have a lot more control than some things, but you can take some pictures with that. Easy to use. Usually you can get into manual controls if you want, but you can do it just by pointing and shooting. That's the whole point of a point and shoot camera. Jeffrey? Thank you. Third option, smartphone. You can always use a smartphone or a tablet, something easy that you can get your hands on. So I know you all have been working by watching Mrs. Levy doing her videos, and you've been chatting. So even like a camera on your tablet, on your computer, it's hard to work with, but you can definitely do something. It's all pretty straightforward though. Everything's sort of built right into it. So there's a couple things that you can do. One thing that will help is a treat or a ball. You can see Jack very much likes this. If I hold this up, he's like, well, whatever. But where's the treat? I hold this up.
Treats?
He's looking.
Right.
Wherever I'm looking.
Find the motivation for your pet.
This.
So obviously treats is Jack's motivation to help create a good picture because we have his attention, right?
Now have
get
Jack's
their
attention. So if I want Jack to look at the camera, Jack, look at the camera. Yes, good. So always good to do.
But we were going to say have another person to help you. So one person could be behind the camera while the other person's luring your pet with treats to get that good photo. So having an extra person on hand is very important.
Yes. Having an extra person helps. Treats help, obviously. Lighting and background, very exciting. Easy. Some easy light is window light. So if you've got a couch or a chair next to a window, have the pet sit there and use the light coming in from the window. You don't want to have the window right behind them, but if you have the window on the side of them, then you'll get that nice window light. Another option is just sitting on the porch or out in the front yard or in the backyard under a tree. So instead of having hard daylight coming down and hitting them, if you did something that was in a shaded area, you'll get a nice even light. Depending on the type of dog, you can see like the Jack here is a dark colored dog, so he might be harder to photograph. So try to make sure that there's plenty of light either hitting the coat of the animal. Even if you're using your phone, you can actually kind of control the exposure a little bit by pressing in the area that you want to care about. So if I press in the area around the dog, then I will be able to get an exposure that will fit this particular area, and then everything else might change a little bit, but that's okay.
And you could also play around with filters on your phone too.
Filters
Those
work
always are fun.
amazing.
Yeah, see? Look at the filters on your phone. All phones have them, right?
Yes, and even just basic editing. You can do basic editing like changing your the exposure or changing your, after you've taken the picture, that is, you're doing your what's called post-production. So you edit by changing the picture's contrast or luminosity or
Do phones
levels.
have that?
Yeah, a lot of them have them now.
So look at like the advanced settings
Yeah.
on your phone. You
Yes.
want to play around with that. Filters are good though. So yeah, with Jack, to put him like on a black background or something very dark is very tricky. And
Right,
you see
so
behind us.
If I hold Jack,
Oh right, there you go. He's a lot.
he's
harder
not here
to
anymore,
see.
right? You can't see him.
It's a lot
But-
harder to see.
Against the white backdrop, you can see him very well.
Yep.
No Jack. Jack. No Jack. Jack. Or even a colorful backdrop, like a purple and brownish, purplish, pink.
So
Sure.
what were the other things?
Some of you might have a dog that likes to run or a cat that likes to sleep. So depending on what they like to do, it's always good to kind of capture that. It's a little bit harder when you are working with your pets to get them to do what you want, because usually they want to be with you to hang out and do whatever you're doing. So asking them to sit and stay can be a little bit more difficult. But getting them to run is fun, and then just make sure that there's plenty of light when you're doing that. So if it's outdoor and it's an overcast day and you're trying to take pictures of your dog running, especially across the camera, is harder. Also, if you're having them run towards you, then the camera might have a hard time focusing. So across is a little bit easier, and if you follow them, if you take your camera and you taking the picture and you follow them as they're taking the picture and then press the button, you'll get a sharper picture out of that, and maybe the background will go a little bit blurry, which could be really a
Which
nice
actually
trick.
can look really cool.
Yes, it can.
So you got to do a lot of experimentation.
Take lots of pictures. The whole part of good photography is taking a lot of pictures and then picking the best ones out
That's
of that.
right. You can always delete the bad ones.
Always. I encourage you to delete the bad ones. That's what I do. Anyway, yeah, I think that's the basics of it. The most important thing is that you're having fun, and maybe like you're doing something fun with your family, as well as your pets. You can
Dress them up.
Dress them up.
Yes, and you can always check out Mr. Levy's website too. So
Yes.
there's some good stuff.
FredLevyArt.com.
Fred Levy Art. All right. Thanks so much, kiddos.
a
Have
lot.
fun taking your pictures. Can't wait to see what you do. All right. Bye.